Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on 3 pair of earrings. Now all of these earrings use beads that I got from Thunderhorse Descendant, and 2 of them are going to be relatively simple, one really simple, one a little more difficult, and one a lot more difficult. Let's turn down and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I have here 3 little packs of pieces for the earrings. This is the really simple pair. This is the little more difficult, but still not hard pair. And this one is the one that's going to be much more difficult. Now, in all actuality, this pair of earrings is going to look just like the middle of this pair. The middle. There's going to be either side stuff. So this one requires a little gluing. So we're going to do that gluing first, put that aside so that it can dry to a degree before we start working on other pieces to it. We will get this glued and then we'll put the rest of the beads up and go on to our other 2 pair while this glue is drying. So what I mean by that, let's dump our little babies out here, is this piece and this piece are going to be glued together, bing, like so. Then we're going to glue this flower on top. We want it to fit right in the bowl there, like so, except for my green moved. Or my silver one below, I'm not sure which, but it's going to sit like so. Then I have punched some holes in these little flowers here, the smaller ones. Now I did that with a vintage hole punch. I pulled up the upper petal pieces so they wouldn't be in the way. And then I took my hole punch and eased it in there and punched these holes. So this is going to hang down below. We're going to have a wire that is going to dangle from one of these petal pieces, which is in turn going to have 3 little cornflake pearls and a little crystal, and that's going to hang between these 2. So that's what it's going to look like when it gets done. But since we're not up to that point yet, let's put the beads back in the baggie so we don't get them lost, especially that little green crystal there. And uh-oh, I may have lost one of my little green crystals. I'm not seeing my set. There it is. It's about to come a little unglued there. Where did my crystal go? So, these are going to go up here while we get these together. Now what we want to do, like I said, now you're probably wondering why I'm leaving these out. Well, I haven't got that out yet, but we're going to glue some little green seed beads inside of these as well. So, firstly, what we want to do is we want to put some glue in the middle of our silver piece. Or we could put it on the bottom of our green piece, whichever works better for you. In fact, let's do one of each way. So we'll just put the glue here and then drop it down into place like so. We want it to go in the middle like that. Or we could just put the glue on the bottom piece, just like we did on the top piece over here, and then put this right down into place. Now, as you can see, it was a little simpler doing it from the bottom first. Though I think one of these needs to have a little adjustments done on it because it doesn't seem to want to sit in its tray quite well. So I'm going to bend these down just a hair's breadth because they seem to be floating up. So we'll get those taken care of and get it back into place. Now see how much better this one is sitting than this one is, and I think we've got something going on here. So maybe just rearrange how we have it sitting might work better. There we go. I think that is better. So now what we want to do is I'm going to bend the petals a little bit up on the bottom row here so that when I put it down inside here, it fits pretty good. See? Now this one needs to, there we go. Now it doesn't matter how they sit in here as long as you get them to sit in there. So we're going to take our flower and we're going to put some glue across the bottom here. Once we have that in place, we will place our flower in the middle here. Now this is what makes this pear a little more difficult, one of the ways anyway, because the other pears do not have any gluing needing done. Now, I did notice we have a slight problem with this one. See how this one is lined up here, up here and here? This one is not. It's going a little bit wonky, so I'm going to wiggle it a little bit till I get it more in place. There we go. Now I need to get some seed beads so we can put the seed beads inside our flowers in the middle here. So you've got that pop of green. So I've got my six seed beads. We're going to dump some out here. And then what we want to do is, oops, didn't want to do that. But what I want is inevitably some of these are wider than others. And I want the big wide ones as much as possible. So I'm just going to take one of these and one of the, I think this will fit. I hope so. I think that'll fit. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a few more of these out, so I got some nice wide ones, hopefully. I want some that are of a deeper, this one will work. I think this one. And I think we'll just go with these two. The rest of them can be put away back into our package here. And I'll show you what we're going to do with these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my glue and I'm going to squirt it down into, I'm going to lose these if I'm not careful, over here. And I had one roll over here. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to take a squirt of glue and we're going to put it inside the middle of our flower here. We'll just let that settle down in there a little bit. Now we're going to take our fatter one like this and drop it down in the bottom of both of these. For this one we want the oh, what did I do with my little piece of wire I had here? Looks like I don't have it anymore, so we will just... What we want to do is have this one with the wider bottom fall sideways in here as much as possible so that it becomes a base for the one above. Now I'm putting runners in here that I don't really want in here, but now this one we want to sit like so. Oops, it came off with my finger. We don't want that. We want it to sit sideways in here so that you don't see the silver middle, just the bead itself. I keep knocking that one out, don't I? Oh, nope, that wasn't the right one. That's the one from the other. So there's our little pop of green inside here. Now we're going to do the same with these, but we just want them to go sideways into here so that they have that little pop of color like we just discussed. But we don't want the silver side up, so we got to make sure we don't have the silver side up. Now I do notice I need to get a little bit of glue off the side here. This one is right here poking out. We don't want that. Here you. Okay. So now these are all ready to just sit and dry for a little while. And before we start putting them together. So we'll set these aside and we'll start on some of the other earrings while these dry somewhat. So let's get out the ones I said were going to be the simplest. So I've got everything we should need in here, though I think I might want a couple of jump rings, which I don't have in here, but that's all right. I have some silver Tinky Tots right here in this dish. I'm fairly positive. Yep, there they are. So no problem. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to put this teardrop on the bottom. And then some of these cornflake pearls. Decide which three go best together here, I think. Now, this is going to make them be not exactly the same because the cornflake pearls are not exactly the same. But there's that. Then we're going to put this little green guy right on the top, so it looks like so. Now we'll fold this over, and I will do the same with this other. There's the teardrop, the first pearl, second, and third. Come here, you. And then our little green bead here. And fold this one over. Now all we got to do is get our stepped bell making plier. And we'll go in here, bring our wire around and down. And since I've decided I'm going to jump ring these on, these can be finished off right away. So on here, up, over, and around, bring it down, bring it over. See how our shape is, and that's perfect. So now we're going to wrap these up, then we'll get a little jump ring and attach them to our ear wires, and these babies will be finished. So you want to just grab them where the wires come together, and then get hold of your wrapping wire and just carefully wrap this baby around here. Looks like we can go one more. And then we'll trim it off. And tuck this one in. Now we want to see how straight we are. This one looks like it's tipped just a teeny bit to that side, so we'll straighten it up a little bit. And there's this one. Now we'll wrap the second. Let that get out away from me there. Trim this baby off and tuck it in. See how straight she is? It's looking pretty good. A little bit crooked maybe here at the top, but not too bad. And now we'll just get a couple jump rings out. Open these babies up. Onto here and onto here. Now, if these had a front and back, you'd have to watch the way that you got the piece on there. But because these are just simple beads that you can roll around if you need to, they're fine just the way they are. So, oops, put that on top of our jump ring. Make sure I get the right side. When I open up a jump ring, I like the split to be towards the top, so I can make a simple jog over like so. So grab our wire, put our ear wire on, and close her up. So there we go. There's earring pair number 1. We can wiggle the pearls around a little bit if you don't like the way they're sitting. But anyway, there is our earring pair number 1 with the teardrops and the cornflake pearls. That looks like our wire is bent there a little bit, but there we go. So now let's go on to pair number 2. So there's earrings number 1. Now we're going to do earrings number 2. Now these are a little bit more difficult because there is more to them. So I'll show you what we mean. And that is because these have multitudes of little wires. And that's because we're going to hook these onto these pretty little lotus flowers. And what we're going to do is we're going to, now I could hook them directly too. I might jump ring these though. So we're going to take this big one and one of these and two of the green, dark green, and that's going to go in the middle like so. Then we're going to take two of the light green and one of these and one of the darks. And they're going to go, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted the dark one first, because I want it to be a little bit opposite to our other side here. So we want like so. And then of course we'll do the same for the other side. One dark one. So like there. And it looks like I'm missing a couple of daisy spacers, so I'll have to go get those. But so what we're going to do is, like I say, just wrap these up, and then we'll take a couple of Tinky Tots and we will hook those on to our lotus blossom. So I will just bend these over right now, get them started. Come on. So we'll do these just like we do any of our other wraps. We're just going to take our, and here's our little gold Tinky Tots. Actually, I've got some right here above me, so we've got those. And we'll just wrap these babies up like we would normally. So up, over and around, bring it down, bring it around, and check and see if it's at the lollipop shape. If it's not, fix it so that it is. See? So we'll do that with all three of these. Up and over and around. Oops, slipped out. Bring it around. Check for your lollipop shape. And put it in. And the last one. So, up and around and over. Bring her down and around. Check for a lollipop shape. Oops, I bent that a little bit, it felt like. There we go. And so those three are ready to be wrapped up. I just need to, after I have them wrapped up, I just need to get the jump rings open and hook them on to our little lotus flower here. So we'll grab a pair of pliers, hold it here, and then we will wrap it up. Now these wires are lightweight enough. I could just do them by hand, but I can do them by pliers, so I might as well. Oop, come on, you. Right. Trim this baby off and tuck it in. Now, as you can see, my head went a little sideways there, so I'm going to push it back into place, and this one is ready to be hooked on. And it's going to go right here in the middle. Then we'll do the same with our two little ones that are going to go down the side. It's going to be pretty. So we'll grab this right here where they come together, get our other pair of pliers, and wrap it up. And tuck it in. Number 2. Now for number 3, grab it where they come together. And then wrap it up. Oops, no, let go. Now I can feel this one bending just a bit, so we'll have to straighten it. But I want to tuck that baby in. It didn't bend as bad as I thought. So that's good. Now we'll get 3 of our Tinky Tot jump rings out. Well, actually, we might as well just get 6 out so we got them for the other side too. 3, 1, 2, 3. And actually, we'll need a couple more for the top to hook our ear wire on, which I haven't decided if I'm going to use ear wires or posts, so we'll decide that in a bit. So let's get our jump ring open. Put into our first spot here. Put our and close it up. And we'll just do the same with the other 2. Let's just open our jump ring. Now, I always try to make sure my jump ring slot is to the top when I open. Otherwise, I tend to make a mangled mess out of it. So in this, go with this one and into the spot. And close her up. Then we have our last one here. And there is our dangles all on. Now I just have to decide if I want to be a ear wire or a little ear stud, and this one will be done. And I haven't decided on that yet. I don't want them to be too big, so I have been trying to decide, do I want an ear wire or do I want a stud? Now, a stud would be easier to put on here because the holes are going the same direction on a stud. And actually, I think we will go with it. I've got some right here, which are little teardrop shaped ones, and I think those will look very cute on our flower here. But see how I'm saying it needs to go across there, like here, from here to here? If I were to put an ear wire on, because the hole would go a different way, I would need to put on 2 jump rings. And actually, I'm thinking the Tinky Tot is probably going to be too small to do this. So we're going to put these Tinky Tots away. And I'm going to get a medium-sized one for putting the ear wire on. That's what we have. We'll get 2 of those out. Put one up here for this one. And we'll take this one and we'll put this ear stud on. So we open this up like we would normally. Go through our earring piece and then through our post and close that baby up. And there's our first earring all finished. Now we just have to put the second one together. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take and put our ear stud on right now. Get that part over with. Where are you? So there's this piece put on. So now all I have to do is get those daisy spacers for these other pieces here, and then we will put those to get these pieces together quickly and have this one the second one finished as well. So we'll have this on the bottom. Then we'll get the daisy spacers and get the light crystals on, and we'll get them all wrapped up and connected. And there is pair and number 2. So we have the pearl and green teardrop ones, pearl, cornflake pearl, and well, that's one set there. And I swear this one looks crooked still. Let's see if I can get it to straighten up some here. Okay. And then we have our little lotus flower with our green crystals. And now I think our other pieces are probably good enough to work with. So let's bring them back down. Now, bring these pieces back in. Let's put this up out of the way some. This one is crooked. I can see it's hanging poorly here. So let's see what we can do to fix that. That's better. Now, when these are put together, it's going to just have this piece, like this whole earring, right here in the middle, with this flower dangling below. So this one is going to be a long earring. It's going to be a fun earring, though, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some 20 gauge wire. I think 20 gauge will fit. I hope it will. If not, we'll have to get some 22. And we're going to hook the ear wires up on here. Now we'll need 2 Tinky Tots to do that because the holes are going in different directions, of course. And then we'll also probably want to Tinky Tot this onto here because this is a teeny hole. And even though we'll probably wrap it directly onto this, this hole is not probably going to be cooperative to put a wire through. So we're just going to get our wires or our Tinky Tots and put this other piece, the ear wires, on first, which would be the simplest thing to do. And we're just going to have 2 Tinky Tots per top here. And then we'll need 2 more for down here to hang on these. So the first thing we'll want to do is we'll grab a couple of these and open them up. This is backwards. Now I'm going to put it on this silver piece right here in this hole that's right here and close it up. Now, if it weren't for the fact that the Tinky Tot, the second Tinky Tot has to go through the ear wire as well, I probably just would have hooked it on as I did that. So open the second one up. Get out of the way, little flower. And get hold of there. And then we'll put our ear wire on too. Make sure you've got your ear wire going the proper direction. You don't want to have it turned around on you. So that one is done as far as putting the top part on. Now we'll do the same with this second one. And then we'll get some wire out to do our pieces here. See how those green seed beads, though, just filled in our hole right here and gave it a little pop of color in the middle there. Well, it looks like this one went sideways a bit and it's too late to change it. So, well, it may not be. I'll have to see if I can wiggle it. Second. So there's this one. Now this is a little sideways to its buddy over here. And I can wiggle it some because the glue is not all the way dry. And there's a little runner of glue right here. I'm going to try and get off of here. There we go. But as you can see, it shifted itself back over there. So I guess it's going to be in that spot. It likes that spot. So now what we want to do is we want to get that wire out. Now see, that would have even made just a cute pair of earrings, just like that. But we are going to put our other pieces on. Now, since I did this, I could refrain from putting these on and just hooking this other little flower on here. But no, I'm going to do what I planned on in the first place. This is going to become a long earring, but that's all right. I love a long earring. So here's our 20 gauge. And let's see if our pearls will even go on here, because sometimes pearls have a very small hole and they might want 22. So we'll see. Before I even cut it, though, we'll test and see what gives. Come on, you. I see the end of you right there. Okay. So we'll test this, see if the pearls will even go on here. Well, that one did. And it looks like the pearls are going to cooperate and go on the 20. So we will cut a couple of pieces of 20 off. Doesn't need to be long. Now where did my end pop off to? Oh, come on. Oh, it's all the way back down in here again. So we're going to have to get this back up here. Well, actually, I think I'll come here. The problem with these big spools is they like to come off of their spool. They unspool themselves quite nicely. Now they do have a hole for you to put in the wire into. I just usually leave it in the baggie because in order for it to stay in that wire, that hole, you have to bend it a little bit. And let's face it, then you have to cut the ends off. Anyway, to me it needs the end cut off. So we've got our 2 pieces of wire. So what we want to do, first of all, is straighten this out. To a degree, as much as you feel that you can, and it'll work for you without having to be a problem. Okay, so now you do this, use this just like you would a normal piece of your wire for your earrings. Just do a bend. Get your bell making pliers out. I think a normal one will be fine. So up and over and around, bring her down. But leave a gap as you come through here because we're going to put, let go, one of our flowers on here. So let's find it's the hole I punched in it right there and feed this little guy onto our wire. Now the flower will bend, so you're going to have this open enough that it'll slide on. So that wasn't quite, so I just made it be. There we go. Now we're going to just do this like we would any other wrapped loop and just grab hold of it and wrap it 2 or 3 times. Now since it's down here on our base here, where we're going to put other things, we can just do with 2 if that's what you want to do. And I think 2 is quite sufficient. So then we'll cut this off, being careful to only cut your wire you want cut off. I have accidentally nicked my base wire before when I've done this, and it, well, it's not a pretty sight. So there is our flower hanging there. So then we have our teardrop and our pearls. I think we'll go with this one first since it's got a downward angle there, and if we put it over it like that, it will act sort of like a cap, I think. And then our little guy. Now, because we're going to jump ring this onto here, and the jump ring is going to go this way, we want this hole to go the same way. And because we've got the flower down here, we need it to go towards us, like so. So bring that up. Get our bell making pliers out, go into here, up and over and around, bring her down and bring her over, check her shape. She needs to be lollipopped, so we'll lollipop her, and then we're going to wrap her up. Now, because we're putting it, jump ring it on, we don't have to worry about putting it onto the other piece yet. So up and over and around. And see, yep, I think that's a good spot to cut. So we'll cut this off and tuck it in. Now that's tipping forward some, you see, and I don't want that, so we'll take our pliers in here and just tip it back somewhat, and even this out over here too. There we go. And now we can jump ring that together. And I think I miscalculated because this hole is going the wrong way. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to roll it. And in order to do that, just take hold of both loops. I'm going to grab hold of them with my pliers so I know I've got them good and well done there. And then you want to twist so that they're going the opposite directions, like so. Now it's facing the right direction to go into that little hole there. So we get our jump ring. And we go through our piece here and through this slot in the green one right here. Now we'll close this up. And this particular earring, oops, is finished. Now we just have to do the same with the other one by putting this on and then putting these on and hooking it up to this one. So we go. 3 beautiful pair of earrings using beads from Thunderhorse Descendant. So there we go. There's our first, second, and third pair of earrings using these beads from Thunderhorse Descendant. This is a shorter pair. It isn't atrociously, it isn't really, really short, but it is a shorter pair for somebody who would like a shorter pair of earrings. Then we have our, those were the simplest, as you'll recall. Then we have our Lotus Blossom and Crystals, another short pair. As you can see, it's about half the length of the earring I'm wearing right now, but still a very pretty earring. Again, for folks who don't like as long and dangly as earrings as I do. And lastly, our third pair, the most difficult pair to make. And as you can see, they are definitely shoulder dusters. That's so pretty. So there's our third pair of earrings, our 3 pair of earrings. I hope you enjoyed making those with me. I think they turned out really pretty. I hope you like them. And I think they're pretty spectacular. This one, like I say, is the most intricate and the longest, as it is a shoulder duster. But it's very pretty. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been working with beads from Thunderhorse Descendant to make these beautiful 3 pair of earrings. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.